Right. Good evening. Good evening. We're back for another UK-based Voron live stream. Yes, we had a US one and it was a silly time for everyone that normally watches, and it was really late and everything, but it was quite good fun. And now we're back to UK times, so hopefully everyone's going to enjoy this one at a reasonable hour. Starting a stream at 11 o'clock in the evening was not the easiest thing to do. So, carrying on with the Voron 2.4, do have to remind you, this stream is sponsored, so just a very quick message from them now, and we'll hear more later. This video would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filofarm and Big Tree Tech, so a big thank you to them for supporting Vector 3D. You can find out more by just watching some more, or you can follow the links in the video description. Excellent. Have we got everyone in the chat? Hello to everyone in the chat today. Hopefully everything's working good. From my end, the numbers, as soon as I press start, went like this for some reason. Very bizarre. But we're getting on with it. Not going to faff around today. There's no real updates from last time, so we're just going to straight away get on with it. Straight into getting the belt sorted. I'm guessing there's no audio issues because nobody said anything, so that's a good start as well. So, we've got to do the XY belt. So, well, it's two belts, and we're sort of A-B calling it rather than XY, but there you go. So, we've got 6mm belts. I believe it's 6mm belts for the XY. And they've got to go in these little slots on the side of this little assembly that we started last time. And the suggestion is that we cut both belts the same length. You can pre-run one length and then cut the other using it as your guide. So I think unfortunately that means it wants us to run a length, check it's the right length, take it all out and then cut the other one the same. So this looks like it's not going to be really very easy to get the belt in here. These screw heads are right in the way. Ah, this is why I wanted those button heads. I might just check actually. Should have done this before I started. I do probably have some button heads. It's whether I have. Oopsie daisy. Just started and already not on the screen. There you go, here's a bunch of button heads. We may have one of these the right length, so we can use that. Oh. Hello everyone and welcome back for those who are just joining in. Well, obviously we have literally just started, so you've not really missed anything. Got a few different sizes. Question is, are any of them 8mm? No. I'm pretty sure they need to be 8, don't they? M3x8. Yeah, I've got a bunch of button heads that are 10 and 12 here, but no 8s. A little bit unfortunate. I don't think I bought them separately, did I? Nope. Oh well. We shall do it the hard way. Let's go. So I've taken this 2 screws out here so I can back out this belt grabbing part. Now I sort of want to put this end in here. It's not even going in. Why isn't it going in? There we go. Well, this is interesting. It's not going anywhere. Why isn't it coming out the other side? Just got to push a bit harder. Okie dokie. So this belt seems very long. I've just looked as well as I was doing belts, and this is all I've got for the 9mm belts. It seems like it's shorter than the amount of 6mm belt I've got. It just seems, I've not measured it, seems like it's not going to be enough, but hopefully I'm wrong there. So where's the belt go? Up here, into here. Oops, a daisy. So we've got this idler down here. Encourage it around the correct direction. Can't see anything. Let's pin that back slightly. Got a bit trapped in the extrusion. So this should go then straight down here, up through here, back in here, and then back through here. This is not as easy. We can just kind of go up the top, back down at the back. Make sure it's laying over the right place. And then just up to the belt on this end, up to the pulley rather. And then through here. Oh, this one's not as easy either. This is a bit more challenging. No, very easy. Cool. So I guess one way to get them same length is still to just cut the whole belt in half. And then you could trim them to the same length even after they're installed. This is annoying. Really wish it would just put button heads. If button heads are a good idea, why not just put them on the flipping bomb instead of going, I hope you've got some, because it'd be really useful if you do. Let's stick a screw back in here. Oops, it isn't. Oh, the carriage is not going to fall off anyway because it's mounted at the bottom. So I'm just going to take these screws out. So we need to pull this through. In fact, the easier way is to pull it back. I'm trying to rush and it's not helping anything. Don't rush. So I'm going to stick that belt down here. We're going to have a little few teeth stick out. And then pull that tight-ish. And then this belt here, I'll just pull through. One of the laser cutters at my work has those Omron sensors in it. Ah! Someone liked spending 60 quid on their Omron sensors. Is twisted. That's fine. I think the whole length will be about right. So okay, so hopefully, I mean, I don't know how much extra belt there is, so we've got to be a little bit careful, I think, here. But if I cut that on there, now I've got to take it all the way out. And we shall try to cut a new length exactly the same as this one. So I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to align the teeth like this. Oh, which was the one I cut? Oh, shoot. I'm assuming this one. Like quite a lot of extra length, so I probably could have gone a little bit longer. Never mind. This is actually not easy to make them the same length. I want them like identical length. The top one is one tooth further that way. I'm assuming they want them to be the same length for some sort of tensioning reason, because if they both are sticking out the same amount, then it's easy to see, I guess, which one's tensions more or less. You need 400 millimeters total, 200 for A and 200 for B. Do you mean 2000? Still not sure I've got this right. So the bottom now is one more that way. This is really well hidden from view. Well done, me. Okay. Right. This is both belts, hopefully exactly the same length. Not really sure, hopefully it is. We've given ourselves a little bit of extra length both ends, so, but one end we should be fine to just clamp in place with no extra length, so that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, the second belt. And then we'll have a little bit of extra length on the second end to get everything in the right place. Oh, come on. Okay, that looks like a good place. So let's get that in there. Please go in. So now I just want to make sure that they're kind of not coming out at a strange angle. That's good. So now we can start with routing again. So top one comes out here and round here. Bottom one comes through here and nope, out the back. It's come out somewhere. No, it's come out in the wrong place. How have I managed to get it twisted? There we go. Make sure it's not twisted going through. Obviously, because there's teeth on one side, it's difficult to get it half twisted, but you can still get it a full twist out, so still got to be a bit careful. Okay, top and bottom belt. So bring this one back up here, up to the idler, pokey through out of that way. And then grab that length through there. Do, 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 do. Good, not twisted. And poke the flat side, teeth against the extrusion, back through here. Oh, it's got caught in the V-slot again. Obviously you don't want that to happen. Oh, so there's it. So that's that one out. Oh, what have I done there? Right. Okay. Is it twisted? No, we're good. I guess the belts would be most frustrating if you're not very familiar with the shape of CoreXY. Obviously it's really kind of confusing, especially the first few times you try and work out where the belts are supposed to go. But at least there's decent holes, there's space for threading everything through and pulling it tight. So From that point of view, looking pretty good at the moment. Nothing's caught, nothing's twisted. This one's coming up here. Quickly running out of belt length. This one's a little bit of a weird one. There we go. Oh, yeah. I've done that right. That one up here. Oh, it's stuck in the extrusion. No, it's okay. We're all good. So the bottom belt is obviously coming around over the motor. Using all available holes just to try and get it to go in the right direction. That's that one, and then up here, straight past this. Oh, and it's gone to the. There we go. It's all stuck in the extrusion. Yep, we're good. And up to the idler. Round the idler somehow. Bit of wiggly wobbly. And through this one. This one's a bit more difficult. What's your experience so far compared to building the rat rig? I had this question a few times actually, and I think my answer's changed more than once. In general, I think the building instructions are not quite as good, and I think it feels a little bit more complex overall, but both definitely doable. This belt length doesn't seem long enough, which is annoying. So I've just tried to make the belts the same length out of this side, so that because I cut them the same length, we can make sure the belts are the same length, and that should provide roughly equal-ish tension on the two sides, although obviously we're going to be using the tensioners to get that correct. Why can I not get the right? Oh, it's hidden. This is obviously not final tension, but Enraged Rabbit. I did see that Nero's doing one, isn't he? It's a multi-material modification, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Let's get these extra screws back in the carriage. How many? Should be another one somewhere. There it is. The tensioners are mostly backed off. They're not like, they're at like 95% backed off, if that makes sense. I mean, as long as I've got the belts the same, we should be okay, right? I mean, there's definitely lots of tension still needed. Should I, how much can we back these off without? Yeah, maybe should we back them off completely? Pull these through a little bit further. Can't even pull this because of these darn screws. Bit worried that we might not get quite enough tension. In fact, we've got like 8mm travel or something there should be, but I'm going to do my best to get this right. So let's, unfortunately, take this screw back out again. Okie dokie, there we go, this is better now. Oh, well that's really tight. How did I manage that? That's not what I wanted at all. There we go. Yes, I'm not really trying to get the final tension. I just want to make sure that we use, that I don't want to use all of this tension. I mean, you can, obviously there's nothing really wrong with that, but just want to make sure I've got every opportunity to use as much of the tensioner as I can. So back it all the way off, get these mildly, I mean it's not tight at all, it's just hand pulled into position. So but now our tensioners and lengths now are both the same. So yeah, in hindsight, I would suggest the better way to do this, without a doubt, because I've got this much extra belt. Like, that's a good 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 meters of belt left over. It's going to be much easier to just cut them. I mean, you don't get the lengths the same, maybe. It's not as easy to get the lengths the same. But yeah, I don't know, this way seemed okay. It just seems like I've got a lot left over now. Because the shorter these are, the easier it's going to be to get them the same length. If this extra length is like 300mm long, it's going to be much more difficult to pull them through exactly the same amount. I don't know. Just there's plenty of racking we've got to sort out, but that's not a problem. We can deal with that when we get there. So that was belts in. Picking one side of the carriage and tighten the belts down flush with the front face. This allows you to pull the belts on the other side in equal length to help keep things square. Right, sure. Right. Fan housing and hot end. We're going to be fitting the hot end now. Right. So, hot end I'm going to be using is a Dragon High Flow hot end. Not a Facius one, it's one comes Triangle Labs one, so it's come in disgusting packaging, but otherwise should be absolutely fine. So we're not going to be using this groove mount. This is not my favourite at all. So we're definitely going to take that off. And we should have all the printed parts for the Dragon, so this should mount without a problem. I can go that in there. Did it come with a nozzle? Yes. Looks like a 0.4. Don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's copper, because you would normally nickel plate copper or plate it with something, probably nickel. So I'm guessing that's what's in here. Not hot tightened in here, obviously, but just going to stick that in there. We need some mounting screws. Triangle Labs is the Facius one. Sort of, yes, but not quite. They're both made by Runners. What's the point of this wrench that they give you if it doesn't tighten the nozzle? What a waste of time. What I'm going to check is the length of screws needed to mount this into this thing. Is this screw length going to be long enough? Oh, yeah, that should be plenty. Let's just give it a wee check. Should need 2mm one. 2. Yep, that's going to be fine. Wrenches for the heat break. Ah, I see in there, yes. That would be kind of annoying though, wouldn't it, for a new user that doesn't, I suppose. You kind of hope someone has tools, but I mean, they've supplied one. I mean, all you need is another thing on this end that's the right size for the nozzle, and you'd be laughing. Oh well, no big deal. No biggie, as they say. And that's the fourth one in there. Looks like there's no space, there's no collets and stuff for this, so we don't need those bits. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Right. Yeah, sorry, I did all the inserts on the America stream last time. I went through this whole assembly and did all the inserts, so I'm very sorry to those that missed out. You have to go and watch that part of the stream. Yes, everything is now pre-inserted. I'm guessing as we're going to be sticking the hot end in, it's probably a good time to get thermistor and whatnot sorted as well. So, are they here? Yes. I mean, probably going to need that in a bit. Probably going to need some fan or something in a bit. Might need that in a bit. Might need that in a bit. Right. Use the metric system. Sure, I do. What? Triangle Labs released a water-cooled dragon a couple of weeks ago. It looks interesting. I suppose if you're going for really, really hot, then yeah, because obviously you get to a limit where if your enclosure that your hot end's in is 200 degrees Celsius, it's not going to be much good for cooling the cold zone, is it? So the cartridge I've got here is a 50 watts, 24 volt variant. Yeah, 24 volt, 50 watts, it says on there. Probably can't see it, but it does say. Not sure which side cables are meant to come out. There's nothing obvious on here at the moment. This is incredibly stiff. Okie dokie. On the side with the two zip holes. Ah, yes. So, which way does the heater block face? Is the heater block that way or is the heater block that way? Where are those cables going to go? Imagine doing this without thumbs. Yeah, that would be difficult. Gonna pull up the cat again. they've kind of hidden the orientation of the V6 block. Oh no, that there is the thermistor hole, isn't it? So that is that way. So I have got the right side. Most people wrap the thermistor and heater cable around the block. This is weird. This is weird. We're going to need the thing that goes over the top too. Is it this? No. It's this. So I could put the cables out the other side and wrap it around. So one thing I have heard is that the sensor is right out behind the block, somewhere there. I don't know exactly. So your hot end becomes very close to that sensor with the potential to melt it. And from what I've heard, you can wrap the cables around the back of the block to help insulate against that radiant heat. It seems against all logic to do that way. So, but I'm going to give it a go. So we're going to do heater on the wrong side and wrap it round the back. Which way is the back? Is that the front and that the back? I don't even know which way around. Yeah, so that's there or something, isn't it? How are you supposed to... These belts are now massively in the way. Yeah, so that's going to go somewhere like that, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah, so we're going to put it on this side. I really think I'm going to break the cables here. I don't know how flexible they really are. I've never bent cables just into position like this. So a bit like that. That doesn't seem like it's going to help much. I'm going to have to do this sock later anyway because I can't tighten the nozzle properly until it's hot, and I can't tighten the nozzle with the sock on, so it doesn't matter whether I put that on now, unfortunately. It's going to be a fiddle regardless. Right. So M3x40s and M3x16. So we've got the 16s here. So these are coming from the back of here through here. Nope, this way up. Thermistor's going in this way around. Those screws are totally useless at the moment. Okay, so looks like that. Oh, rubbish camera angle, come on Adam. So that's what I've got for wiring. Looks like something like that is what we want. Don't think the thermistor wires are going to be long enough to reach the PCB, so we'll just have to put an extension or something on that. But oh, these confusing mod names. Afterburner with a PCB, I believe is what I'm doing. Let's just... You cut all of the wires and crimp connectors on them. Didn't know about the 4-hour live stream of crimping. Well, I've actually got a harness, so I'm hoping that will reduce some of the crimping time. But obviously for the terminal stuff up to here with the PCB, that obviously does require a little crimping. How am I supposed to deal with these belts? These seem bizarre. Right, back to the instructions. We've got that, we've got those, we've got the heat inserts, that's in there. Jobs are good. Now, M3 by 16s randomly sticking out of that holes. Oh, threaded into plastic. What is this? What are you? Is this a joke? It doesn't seem to be a joke. That's unfortunate. The mixed use of threaded inserts is really confusing. Good evening, Dom. Good to see you. So that's Test fit the housing. Make sure to test fit the hot end housing. It should be able to slide in with firm pressure, but not be loose enough that it can wobble. Huh? But the belts are sticking out right into where I need to put it. This is so confused. Okay, belt's just about hide away. I mean, yeah, it's on, but surely there's more screws than what I've already done. Ah, yes, that's the other screws there, isn't it? So that's the proximity. Oh, this way. So this is the hot end proximity to the sensor. We've got these long screws that need to go in here. That should help hold everything in, presumably. So that's where we've got the wires coming down. That's going to block some of that radiation, thermal, infrared, whatever. Sure. Wrap the belts around the probe cable. I think I'm good. The nozzle's in, the nozzle's there. It's just not hot tightened, that's the thing, because you can't do that until you're ready to go. You need the thermals. I would like to say that whilst Adam is struggling to screw his carriage on, my 0.1 is printing at a pace and it's happy. Good! Good, good, good. Those two screws are not meant to be removed again and used only as guides or stabilizers for the hot end part. Oh, the ones threaded into plastic. Sure, but like, so I'm not supposed to tighten them? Because it looks like it would benefit from being tightened. There we go, I've tightened them. I wrap the heater cables the other way round. Sure. I think we'll be alright though. Right. Time for a quick sponsor spot. I'll be back in 60 seconds. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filament and Big Tree Tech. Filament are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filament is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more, or follow the links in the video description. The Big Tree Tech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and Reprinting V-Core 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C and more. Pairing the Octopus with TMC 2209 stepper motor drivers allows for quiet operation using Stealth Chop, performance using Spread Cycle and Stool Guard for sensorless homing. Big Tree Tech also offer a mini 12864 display, which is ideal for the Voron 2.4 design. Check the links in the description to find out more. So I'm just looking at what the dickens is going on here. Because there's something funky going on. Yeah, see, this is... It's these stupid belts. What the actual are those belts doing? I'm going to have to cut the belts off. Because if you don't cut the belts off, then they're just going to get stuck in this assembly. The belts are physically like pushing it away so it doesn't screw in flat. This one feels really loose in comparison, but we're just going to have to cut them because there we go. Maybe that's the worst idea ever, but worst comes to the worst, we get some more belts. It's not the end of the world. I can see now how you would be able to do it without having to replace those screws. But before, the belts were pushing up on the middle of the assembly. So if you only have the 2 screws like at one end, and then the belts pushing in the middle, you need the ones on the other end to overcome the belts. It looks like we're going to have a problem if we don't. Oh no. Okay, I think we're going to be there. It looks like this will go flat with all these screws in place. Right, and then we're going to snug the top screws down. Just a touch. So if they're not designed for clamping, it would make sense that they go into plastic, I suppose, because you get a sort of nylock effect. But why not just have nylock nuts on the other side? That would seem the logical thing. If you want the effect of nylock nuts, put some nylock nuts in it. Okie dokie. Not sure I'm particularly happy with this mounting. The reason is, when you start applying loads of force right down here, which is your filament, obviously do your hot end, what's going to happen is the whole assembly is just going to start moving downwards, bending out the way. And the one thing that's going to stop it is these screws. And if you can't even do them tight, then that doesn't seem ideal. Maybe I'm misinterpreting what the instructions are saying, but they're not exactly comprehensive. Make sure to test the hot end housing. It should be able to slide in with firm pressure, but not be loose enough that it can wobble. Like, what does that mean? Does it wobble? No. Let's see where we get to. We've got a bit more of assembly to do there. Obviously there's going to be more structure to go, so that'll probably show all the things that I'm thinking about are incorrect, or at least just incomplete. So that's that lot. So this is a bunch more threaded inserts that I did actually do last stream, so apologies to anyone that wanted to see that. Good news though, quick wind angle. There is a video coming on my threaded insert hot end press thing, soldering iron mod, soldering heat press insert station. That's scheduled for Friday, like the 24th. So yeah, if you want to see that or share it when it arrives, that'd be wonderful. That'll be, yeah, on Friday, 5 o'clock-ish, I think I've scheduled it for. Very excited. Install, oh, Mike. Good evening, Mike. Install the heatset inserts. Yeah, so we did that. Mine's different to this because mine's a slightly different version. I think I've missed a threaded insert here, judging by that picture. This one in the bottom right, in fact two. Then mine looks like it takes a screw, not an insert there. I'm not sure. It's really not clear which one I'm supposed to be using. Have I done one on this side? No, see there isn't one at all on this side. And then this one, we've got one there, we've got one there, one there. This one might be the wrong way around. I think this one's the wrong way around. Hopefully not going to be a problem. One in the side, and we need a motor. Okie dokie. Where's my motors? Hello? There, at the back. Oh. So unfortunately the original order I made for motors, the extruder motor was missing. So I got this kit as well, which was expensive, but now we have the extruder motor that was missing. So we can so unfortunately this is one confusing thing that I've noticed recently. You can let me know if this is an annoyance that you've experienced too. It seems like some of the motors for Voron have wires and some of them have connectors, like connectors right on the end, like for these motors. That's fantastic because you can just do your own wires. Brilliant. But ones like this are just super annoying. Why are some and some and some? Why not all like those? Oh yes, I did actually ask. So the Voron ones, the LDO ones, these ones are part of their high temperature kit. So their high temperature motors have sort of capability to function up to somewhere in the region of 150 to 180 degrees Celsius. And there isn't a connector that LDO have identified yet that would be suitable at that temperature. So until they can get a connector to do that, they have to use the wires. The weird thing is, all we're going to do is cut the wires 2 centimeters from the motor and put the same connector on there. So, I don't know, this is a bit bizarre. They're great that they're capable of high temperatures, but I mean, this seems quite extreme. I imagine most people are not going to be needing motors that are capable up to 180 degrees Celsius. I mean, so your chamber temperature, maybe 120, 130, I think was a suggestion, and then the motor will work 70 degrees above the ambient, or 50, 60 degrees above the ambient. It is one less point of failure, but it is one more point of annoyance. Oh yeah, don't forget to like the stream, by the way. That's the thing. So, and by the way, if you're new to watching the stream, there's all sorts of information in the video description, including links to the sponsors, which you'll probably see right at the top. And there's also a bill of materials with links to everywhere where I bought stuff, and a work in progress list on parts that I purchased that I also recommend. Sort of. Recommend's a strong word. It's things that I don't not recommend. So if I've come across parts I think, oh, that's a bit not great, then I'll put it on there so you know you probably not best to buy from that place. So this is the Triangle Labs BMG kit. I really need a drink. Bit of a mix for my sourcing. So I have self-sourced, but where particular shops or places do a kit of all the parts that they sell, I tend to go for that. One particular note is this Pouch company, or however you're supposed to pronounce it, that does all the belts and pulleys and idlers. To begin with, I was just going through their shop and trying to find all the bits that match the bomb. And then someone was like, oh, you just go here. And there's like a full kit of all the stuff that you need, all from one company, all from them, all the stuff, perfectly for Voron 2.4. I was like, well, I'll just get that. So yeah, it's self-sourced, but I've taken the easy path where it's available. So we got this and we got this. Let's get a bit of a better view of what's going on here. So this goes on back ways, and we somehow need to measure exactly 3.2 millimeters. Yeah, right. Like that's going to be possible. Best I can probably do is a 3 millimeter Allen key. I do actually have some feeler gauges. Somewhere, don't know where. I'm not sure if this is a 3mm Allen key. It's probably not. It's probably 2.5. I'm guessing that 0.2 millimeters probably not going to make too much difference. So, Allen key spacer to the rescue. So there you go, just kind of sits on there. Keep it flat. Stick that on there. Is it cheaper to self-source? This is an interesting question actually. From what I looked at, the Formbot kit is pretty cheap compared to buying everything independently, because I spent a lot and I didn't even buy all of the parts because I had some of them sponsored, obviously. A lot more than the Formbot kit, I'll tell you that much. So the kit seems pretty cheap. Obviously all your decisions on your parts are then dictated by one shop. And if you want to upgrade or change from that, then you're kind of wasting parts because you're double buying things. which is not only a waste of money, but a waste of the materials and stuff that you have. So at least with the self-source, you can buy what you want. So I guess maybe the decision is, if you know what you want, self-source and get what you want. If you don't know really any idea about what you want, just get the kit, and then all those decisions are made for you. But as soon as you start to have 2 or 3 preferences of, oh, I want that bed instead, or I want the LDO rails, or I want this specific thing, then it might be best to just go ahead and self-source. Is it 3.2 from the face of the motor body? Oh, 3.2 from the bod. How the dickens are you meant to measure that? What genius thought? Okay, yeah, well noticed. The lines on the drawing are so faint. Or the drawing, it's how? No one, honestly. Unless somebody's built a jig. Where's this jig that I've not seen? Because there's no way. No way you can measure that. Who's done? Okay, right. This is just daft. Okay, that to there. So that little extra face is 2.05. So if we get a 1mm Allen key, or a 1mm anything, is this 1mm? The ruler is 1mm. We shall use the ruler. Thank you for pointing that out, James. That's absolute godsend. That's not right. Oh no. Yeah, it's not settled properly. Ruler's a bit big. You can't depth gauge from that though, because there's nothing. I mean, I think I'm bang on, but it's just, it's not an accurate measurement at all, because you can wobble it around. There's no fixed face or edge. It's just, I'm somewhere between 2 and a bit and 3 and a bit. The only way you're going to get that 3.2mm from there is if you get like a printed part or an aluminium milled piece to slot in there, put it on and then remove, which would probably be a fantastic idea. If I knew that in advance, I might have done it, but I haven't. Yeah, I would have expected to use thread locker on this screw, but it's actually not mentioned. Pinion spacing and orientation. That's the only 2 things. They've not mentioned it. So I kind of want to put it on, as just saying. The only reason I didn't is because I don't know what they might say later on regarding position and, oh, now just undo it and move it a little bit to adjust. Like, if they do that and I've already used thread locker, that's going to be probably a bit of a pain. Okay, it says in the manual, so we'll follow that. I just didn't read that bit, obviously. Oh, where's my thread locker material stuff? Here it is. Got blooming tiny grub screw, this one. Right, where's my ruler? Okay. Yeah, it's very easy, not strip the threads, but to ruin the head, isn't it? Strip the head. So, stepper motor orientation. Make sure to orient the motor on the drive plate so that the wires are on the left side. This will allow correct routing through the cable cover that will be installed later. So, I'm going to make sure I use the right part here. I've now made multiples. I think the original one that I have is the right one. So not the original, because the original doesn't have the side hole, which I need for the PCB. But this one is the same as the one I got from Printed Forward, but with an extra hole in the side. So that's the one I need. Now that's going to go on there. I'm assuming that kind of rectangle shape is representing wires. Make sure to orient the motor on the drive plate so that the wires are on the left side. Which is the left? Left facing this way, left facing that way. Who knows? And this is, interestingly, look, that's a connector. So maybe they did want a connector originally, but not got one. So, what was it saying? M3 by 8 probably? Yep. Bit of adjustment, which is good. The motor position is adjustable to allow for properly meshing of the drive gears. We recommend you start in the topmost position of the slot, but check Discord if you have questions on how to properly adjust this. Topmost position of the slot. Okie dokie. I might be missing one here, heat set insert, but I don't know, I'm not 100%. If someone can tell me if I'm 100% missing it, then I'll add it, but I don't, I'm thinking I do need it, but I'm just not sure. I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. It's looking like we're going to need it, isn't it? At this point, I feel like every stream needs at least one threaded insert. Oh yeah, the picture. I mean, this is, yeah. Okay, I'll put it in. There won't be two right next to each other though, because the other hole, my design is obviously different to yours, because I would not get a insert in the hole adjacent to it. There's obviously a slightly different version. I don't know if newer or older, but there's a slightly different version which would have two. But this is not the version I have. There's actually one very little change to the rig since the last video. Was it since the last one? 5 internight points to anyone who spots the difference. I agree that the printed forward would be the latest parts. That totally makes sense. The only reason it gets confusing is that I got these parts back in April. So latest is, so that's the position. Let's get the camera nice and close. Oh, that's as close as we're going to get. I did capture some really good B-roll of doing this. Well, that's pretty good anyway. A bit of extra plick stick around the side. This version will be alright. I'm pretty fine with it. Sure, we'll get there. Inserting newtserts. Do you mean inserts? Newts? Wrong side of the part. It doesn't matter. Oh, it will matter. It's pretty deep, isn't it? Oh, goodness sake. Oh, dear. How far down can we push this? Not that far. I've ballsed it up, haven't I? Good and proper. Right. We're going to have to get Le Creative. Made a slightly splodgy mess on my heat insert rig, but it's okay. Oh, I need this part. This is a disaster. Really want to just use my fingers. There we go. What a mess. Oh, the change is the feet are now yellow. That's it. But yeah, the grip up here is ABS. Okay, now that should be mounted on the right side. We can put this back in. Let's turn the soldering iron off. Check placement. Ensure the filament drive gear is fully seated against the... Okay, right. You replace the nails, should be in both. One is for the idle arm, the other is to tighten the clockwork to the carriage. Both sides? So, oh goodness me. Motor cables facing the wrong way. I'm flustered, it's all falling apart. Right, thank you. Not both. Yes, people keep saying, but there's no way I'm going. Oh, the hole on the other side is bigger. Let's go back on here now. How hot is it? Never do that. Okay, both on the back, right next to each other. Right, is this what we're talking about? Because this was really not clear, I don't think, in the manual. Maybe I'm just being an idiot. Okay, it's kind of clear. I was just looking in the wrong place. Oh dear. How is everything falling apart so hard in this live stream? Oh no, wait, it does every live stream. There's quite a big delay today, I've just noticed. A really big delay. No? Maybe not. Can we see? Can we see? Oh, it was miles off. Let's get this in the right place. Alright, time for another one. Do 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 do. Lovely. That other one's not very straight. Okie dokie, so motor cable that way, that way. Motor this mounter. Mounted this motor about 5 times now, haven't I? Right, that top of there, that there, right. Is that okay? Are we okay? Are we all happy now? Have I done it right at last? Okie dokie. So, 2-threaded insert on the back, motor on that side, cable out there, extra one on here. Are we good? I've moved my end stop a little bit higher, but not a lot. So trying to follow instructions for this now. Ensure the filament drive gear is fully seated against the drive shaft gear. I've got one of these. One of these on here. Ooh. Oh. Where's... Here it is. Locky tightly. I feel like there's probably a better way to use this Loctite bit. Right, so well, that doesn't go all the way up to there, so given the extra weight of the additional brass insert, none of the presets will work and you'll have to create your own with a ruler. I'm so confused. This doesn't really push up to here like the guide says. As you can barely see, it's so small. It's kind of against it. I think that's what it means. It's as against it as I'm going to get, I think. Oops, daisy. Oh, please don't say I bulged it. The MR85 bearing should slip onto the drive shaft easily, allowing the assembly to self-center in relation to the filament. If you find that they are too tight, you can lightly sand the drive shaft. Nope, that's fine. That one slides back and forth. And the other one also moves very slightly back and forth. Good. Three times now. The first is from the back, the second mount. Oh, have I got these the wrong way? This design is... it's fine. Let's carry on. This goes in here. So we've got this, and we've got this, and this. Oh, I think I can just press the bearing into there. And then it looks like this other extrudery looking piece goes on the front like that, maybe? Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Yeah. That looks good. So that's just going straight on there, like so. Pretty happy with that. Make sure the drive shaft is not rubbing on the extruder motor. You can sand the face of the drive shaft if required. Doesn't sound like it. Tolerances all look very close, but it looks okay. The drive shaft check. Now's a good time to check that the drive shaft assembly is moving as it should. The engagement of the gears should be smooth throughout the full rotation, and the drive shaft should be able to move forward and back slightly to aid in filament alignment. If required, adjust using the fastener on page 71. The fastener with no access from the front. Brilliant. Okay. So where can we access this gear? Over here. Yeah, I moved it a little bit already, and I think that's good. I'm happy with that. M3x30s. Something tells me those are coming back out later. Thank you. And then we need this little latchy piece. There we go. How I'm so confused. So confused. It's not going to latch onto that. It's not going to latch on the screw. Huh? What is this doing here? I've tested my gears. That's what I was doing. Testy test. Nice and smooth. Assembly manual from 4 months ago. May, February. Just getting an older version of the manual, which I maybe should have done earlier. Right, this is a slightly older version, so we've got page 74. That about 12? 74, please. Here we go, this looks like me. Okay, right. So, got this. We need this other gear. We need, oh, got loads of different shafts in here. Why are there 3? And why are they all different lengths? No! Okay, so what diameters are they? Diameters are all the same. I want one that looks like it's just a smidge longer than both of these bearings. Looks like it's the short one, to be honest. Where's the part that they're going into? That should help. This. That's the ticket, isn't it? So these are going to need some lubrication, aren't they? I'm guessing that's what this grease is for. You can adjust the engagement of the gears by leaving the okay. The manual's in a slightly different order. Okay, I do need to do mine a bit differently. Didn't expect the design to be that different, to be honest, but obviously it is. I still can't see this fitting. Is it down? Oh, it's that. Okay, it's this side. So this goes on here. Okay, so yes, we need to... Well, it didn't mention what grease to use. I'm guessing it's this EP2 grease. Anyone got any better suggestions? This is the other one. EP2 for I mean, it's great that the BOM tells you what to get, but if it doesn't tell you where to use it, it seems mildly redundant being so specific, doesn't it? Or is that just me? It's also a huge amount of grease for a very tiny bit in these. These are going to be a total fucking mess, but it's okay. Can't get that camera any closer. Needs more zoom. Nope. Oh, is this a push from the top or? It's alright. We're in. I believe there is also a suggestion to put a small amount of grease on these gears. Because otherwise they have a tendency to oxidize a little bit due to some wearing and things and stuff. Obviously you keep it away from the teeth because you don't want extra lube while you're trying to grip your filament. And a steel shaft is not exactly the right tool for adding lubricant, but it did work, so can't be that stupid an idea. Oh, it's one of those days today, isn't it? Supposed to slide the rod in. Well, if I was supposed to slide it in, the instructions should have said slide it in, but it didn't, so I didn't. I think it's fine. It's not going to be a problem. Everything is a-okay. Right, and then we need this and this. And that goes from the inside, and then we've got this other assembly in here. Here and here with here. So I presume we go spring on here, that on there, that in here, on here. Huh? That's not going to change the spring tension, is it? How's that going to affect the tension? I don't understand. Oh, I see. Okay, yes. The tension is between here and here, isn't it? Well, that's great. Tolerances on this a little bit too loosey goosey, because that threaded insert is just pulled out super duper easily. Oh dear, it's really not my day, is it? How are we gonna... Can kind of glue it in, I suppose. It's not particularly great. Gonna need to print this part again, I think, with a little bit of extra filament in that hole. This is one part that should be different, I think, because it's pulling on the open face, whereas a lot of the other threaded inserts are from the rear, so it's pulling against the plastic into the material rather than this, which is pulling directly out. Did we do the second sponsor spot? I don't think we did we? We should do that now. This live stream would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filament and Big Tree Tech. Filafarm are a 3D printing bed specialist based in Germany. Filaprint is their high-performance, durable print surface designed to grip parts tightly when hot, but release them when cold. Their switch system utilises a strong magnetic sticker and 0.6mm spring steel to allow for easy swapping of bed surfaces. The bed plates offered are made from cast aluminium plate and are extremely flat, helping you get the best adhesion across the whole first layer. All of this can be made to standard sizes or customised upon request. Keep on watching to find out more, or follow the links in the video description. The BigTreeTech Octopus is a 32-bit control board with loads of connectivity options for performance 3D printers like the Voron 2.4 and Reprinting VCore 3. It can connect up to 8 stepper drivers, 8 fans, 6 end stops, 5 thermistors, 4 heaters plus BL Touch, RGB LEDs, a TFT screen, USB-C and more. Pairing the Octopus with TMC 2209 stepper motor drivers allows for quiet operation using Stealth Chop, performance using Spread Cycle and Stool Guard for sensorless homing. BigTreeTech also offer a mini 12864 display, which is ideal for the Voron 2.4 design. Check the links in the description to find out more. Okie dokie, so hello. Streamlabs has mildly crashed. Is everything still working? This video would not have been possible without our sponsors, Filafarm. So I obviously need to print another one of these little latches. I don't think there's a second one. So just gonna see if I can find it. STL's Voron Gantry, X axis, X carriage, direct feed, connector cover. We're going to need history. Oh, December 2020, so that should be fine. That's not updated. So, chain anchor generic. No, that's not going to be it. Body, motor plate, latch shuttle. It's a latch shuttle, that's what we need. Download. Stick it in slicer. So, oh, that's not worked very well, is it? There we go. So I'm just going to print it out on the Mark III quickly. Shouldn't be too long. 11 minutes. I feel like I might as well reprint it. Let's make sure that this is at 100%. We don't want any under extrusion on this part. If anything, we want a little bit of over extrusion. Because we need to make sure that this damn insert goes in super tightly. Why is it not going to save to the SD card? Slice now. Oh, there we go. Well, if I was being slow and careful, Streamlabs is uncrashed. If I was being more careful and not planning to do this right now, I would probably just make some modifications like infusion just to make the hole a little bit smaller and stuff like that. But I think just reprinting it at 100% extrusion. I think these parts have probably been printed maybe slightly under extrude, only very slightly. Because it makes them look really good. And they do look really good. I just want to make sure that this goes in really tightly. Hopefully that will heat up quick enough that we can do this. Personally, I think this should either be a nut from the rear or a thread insert even from the rear, but just not on the front. That just seems a daft place to put it. You're asking for problems. Oops. So it looks like there's actually not, despite the instructions maybe being different between May or April and now, the parts do seem to be the same. That's tight. Jesus. So that will go in here. Just touch that blimmin' greasy gear. That'll go. Have I got grease everywhere? It's all over my fingers. God damn it. You should not use the insert from the BMG kit. I don't know what you mean by the insert. What insert are you talking about? You're talking about the threaded insert? Because there was no threaded insert in the BMG kit. This is just the normal one. The same ones I've used everywhere else. Yeah, I don't have any threaded inserts with this kit. The one I'm using is the same as I've had in everything else, which makes me think they might fall out too. Sad times. Oh, that's not right. This is why my design has to be done differently. So the previous design you could put it in like that, whereas this design it has to go in first. It seems. Yeah, you have to be able to kind of add it in from the side. Come on, Mr. Prusa. This blooming bed takes forever to heat up. I think the hole is just not correctly sized quite for the insert. It's my suspicion. Speaking of bots, we've not had anyone being kicked or muted by the bot. The Streamlabs bot in ages. Everyone knows now. You say one thing out of line, it's like gone. M3x30. What else can we do in the meantime? Just trying to check the instructions. Separate the blower housing. Okay, let's have a look at that while we're. The inserts are from 123D. In fact, I've got some from the other UK place as well, Macporium. So, got loads of those now. Bought some extras. What? Separate the blower housing. You'll have to remove the front of the blower housing before install. You can do this easily by prying the tabs up gently that hold it in place. Easily. Definitely not going to break it. Definitely not going. You can do this easily by just prying. There we go, it's broken. If at first you don't succeed, just cut the blooming clips off. There we go. Do I like the colour blue? Sure, why not? I don't dislike the colour blue. Yep, the printer is starting now. I'm just hoping that first layer is going to go down okay. Fingers crossed. Right, what do we do with this then? Oh, we also need another fan. What size is that fan? 40 millimeters? Got one of those too. Blue. There we go, that looks sensible. That's where you get that cool look from. I do like, I don't know, there's a certain style about this, isn't there? Recommended tip. If you want to print anything other than ABS with the Voron, get the 5015 mod from Greg. It will probably be printing a lot of ABS, to be honest. You will have to remove the front of the blower. Oh, we did that. 1.75 millimeter filament. There was none of that in the bomb. Sure, I can find some. I know where there's some. It's like a 90% spool ABS. Oops, there is it. We'll start looking at mods once I've finished. I mean, I am doing some mods, granted. I'm doing the Afterburner PCB and stuff like that. But I probably shouldn't have done in hindsight. That I should have stuck with the standard stuff and then looked at that afterwards. But you know what it's like. I'm assuming the fan needs to come out the top like that. The cable. Not a sausage. Oh no, that's not going to work because that's got to go there. Where the dickens is that cable supposed to go? I'm guessing not in that little slot. This is not as easy as I was expecting. Come on, just go like that and then go like that. There we go. Easy peasy, just being a muppet. I was kind of thinking that would then open. It doesn't open. What? Okay. Do we cut it off? I guess so. What crimp tool do you have? The Molex Microfit 3.0? Not sure yet. We'll see. When we get to all the crimping stuff, hopefully I'll have all the tools and stuff I already need. I think it's a bit deeper hole in the arm already, as you should be able to tighten the spring load. What the... Okay, that can go in there. That goes up in here. Okay, fan here, fan here. I think that's how that's supposed to go. Back of this. Where the hell is this cable meant to go? Ah, out of here again. Oh, maybe this is going to come vertically as well, is it? That's a snug fit. Very nice. M3 by 16. Aha! This slot in the back of this part here is designed to hold this cable. So you presumably bring it up here next to that one. No idea if that's true, but that seems to be working out rather nicely. You can use a solder iron, just quickly hit the sides of the filament to stop it sliding out. Yeah, that is what I had thought of doing. I just didn't want to use that one that's there. I think it's going to be okay for now. I'll sort that out at a later point if I feel like it really needs it. M3 by 30s for the other. I know, from the front, these ones. Oh, these just go through. Okie dokie then. Cool, they're barely sticking out, like 2 or 3 threads. Okay, we can't continue that because we need the clip, we need this. 2 minutes to go on that. Let's get this heated back up again. Yeah, so this has got to go onto this assembly with the screws. It's weird they say put them in here and then it's the same ones labelled here, but this label could go, this is not needed. So we can do the stepper motors. Let's do the back of this. So we're taking the screws out of the crosshead thing. Do I have something like that available? That is the wrong thing. Right, that's finished. Oh, it came off like a layer from the end. Oh, for goodness sake. Yes, this enclosure is not ideal. I agree. Springs don't jump out. There's no springs in a stepper motor. That's just jumped out there. M3 by 20s. What are you using to print your parts? The Prusa Mark III is what's in the enclosure there. Got to be a little bit wary of what I'm supposed to be using for this Afterburner doohickey PCB mod thing, because I don't know really when I'm supposed to add that on. Going to be totally honest. I think this goes on here somewhere, doesn't it? This is like a cover thing for this. So, is that's going to hinge? Or is it this? Yes, this is maybe the original one. This is the PCB one that's bigger. I'd say it's close to 1,500 rather than £2,000. I mean, mine's maybe £2,000 because of the I got some pretty expensive bed parts from Filament. You could do it a bit cheaper, and I mean, if you got the cheap kit from Voron, it's pretty cheap. But I mean, it's possible that you get what you paid for with that. So be careful. A Bowden tube. A Bowden tube. I don't know how big my Bowden tube needs to be. Can we work it out? That's the question. Oops. Screws all over the place. Totally screwed. Need some Bowden tube. Oh, I'm running over my audio cable. One day this is just going to cut out in the middle of the stream because the number of times I've run over it. Which PCB exactly are you using for the Hotend? As I think one mounts on the cable case and the other uses 2 new holes. You might want to look it up beforehand. Oh, I did actually look that up. That's why I have this part different. This part different. I actually talked to the guy on Discord the other day that made them. I think they're his. Well, I definitely talked to the guy, but I can't remember if he did all of these end stock ones. Presumably there's a few different end stock mods. Flip, where has it gone? Maybe in here. I've lost it. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Well, I did have a PCB. It was very kindly provided, but now I appear to have mislocated it. Oh, it's on the desk, isn't it? It's right here, right in front of my bleeding eyes. New sub, yay! Tar very much. So this is what I'm using. Looketh like so. So there's a hole there. I'm guessing that's for mounting that, because there's a big hole here for your finger for this, so that position's definitely correct. Now I guess if we align this on here, there's going to be another hole. There is, and that's going to be for that. This gets very close to this, doesn't it? But we're going to have to definitely need some little spacers for this. It is a bit close as it is, but that's definitely going to go on there. Yeah, well, I don't think I'd have ended up doing it without, but I haven't got any. Obviously, you need spacers to make sure the back of this PC doesn't touch the motor. I guess that's the main problem. Oh yeah, this is Rev 3.1, but I've just noticed this is the guy that I talked to. The question is, do I have plastic washers? The answer to that question is no, I don't. What I do have is some spacers that I made for a different thing that could also be used. Now, where the dickens are those? The holes in the PCB have traces right under... Oh, they do. Oh dear. Yeah, this one right by the X end stop. Oh, so... I see. So I've got this. This looks like it would work for that. What I'm going to actually do, I'm going to cut the back of these off a little bit. So these don't need to be sticking out quite so much. That'll make part of this job a little bit easier. I'm going to put some safety glasses on while doing this because it just fires these little metal bits across the room and it's... Soldering on this, not particularly amazing actually, unfortunately. I'm guessing the guys tested it, so should be okay. So I've got that as a plastic washer. Guess that'll work. Doesn't need to be quite that long. This has been on forever now. Let's get that off. Yep, so these all work. They were intended for something else, but there we go. So it's like a black shim, 3 or something mil thick on this side, and then the same thing on the other side, so plenty of distance away. Hopefully there's just enough clearance now for the cover and everything. The cover and the wires and all the other Hujima flips. Expect so. That lines up with that, so that's a huge... Ah, that's what this is for. So that's for this, I guess, that goes on there. It goes all the way through into that. This is for a thing here. What's this for? Oh, is this... No idea what this does. I assume it's for something I've just not got to yet. Nylon screws could be useful. Please say you worked this time. Yes. Ah, it's hot. It's a bit squidgy and fat. Hopefully it's still going to work in the way that it needs to. Not be too wide, and we can hopefully still squeeze a insert in the end. Hopefully with a bit more plastic on it this time. There is hope. This is very hot though still. Right, let's give this a bit of a hoogie what's it. So reaching over, not the best, but unfortunately because this has not got a nice flat face, it's not quite as good for doing threaded inserts, but it does still work. Okay, this one looks like it's got a little bit better engagement this time. Hopefully it's actually has and doesn't just look like it. Right. So at least with this one that's in here, we can just use it again. So that's no big deal. That's going Don's le bin. I want it to cool down. This part's a bit wobbly and sloppy. It's either got a bit hot or the pruder's tried to cool it. It'll do. Hopefully I don't pull this one out. Right, let's give this a go. We should be able to assemble the whole thing now. So let's go back and try and do it in the correct order. So, from here, this, through this blue thing, into this black thing. Trying not to be too generous with the tension at the moment because we might just destroy the whole thing by accident. We need to put this on here, this on here. With this big chungus, we need 2 screws through the back. That lever over there, and then this black lever that we just assembled over there, and then that snaps down into the place. I think it's probably supposed to come down a bit smoother than that, but that's okay, probably. So, I'm guessing we need a pin for this bit, don't we? Nope, it doesn't say use a pin. It does say that, and another screw. Where's that screw going? M3x30. Get another screw! That's going through here. Ah, that is that. Okie dokie. Oh, this is a actual thready job. Is this supposed to be a thready job? Doesn't seem like it needs to be. I feel like I should be able to push that through, but okay. Now we've got this little blob. We've done all this. All of this. Oh, it's doing it onto the gantry. Need my gantry back. What? So, where the dickens is this going? What? We haven't got a motor. Why have we not got a motor on here? What am I doing? He hasn't even mentioned. Clearly this is supposed to go on here. Let's get the right way up that way. Oh, that's not a good sound. Okay. So we could put this on now, I think, could we? We can put it on later. Not sure if it's going to interfere with the rest of it, because I don't know how it all goes together really. Is this supposed to stick out the back this far? Is that going on? What? This side, of course, got to go this side. Okie dokie, now we're cooking with gas. Be careful of that. And 3x30s again. And these seem way too long. Okay. That is way too long, because that's going to go straight through that and crash into that lever, isn't it? Ah, one of them's M3 by 20. Okay. This one's M3 by 20. Mike, if you're looking, if you go into my bill of materials and you scroll to the bottom, there's a big list of all the filler farm links. I don't know if they specifically call them Mix 6 and Mike 6 plates. They call them, I think, precision plate. This is really quite satisfying, isn't it? I like this. So that's that on there. That's that on there. 2 screws here. That looks like that's going to come round here. You into here, over here, through here. Don't know about you, but I think this looks pretty freaking good in blue and black. Oh dear. Thank you for letting me know. Did I miss that in the instructions? I must have done completely. Oh, they put it in way back. You can remove just the Hotend part. That would be... Oh yeah, of course you can. That's kind of the point, isn't it? Oh well. Never mind, we're doing it this way. P2V tube, where are you? Short piece, this will do. Wait! Wait! No! Just remove the Hotend. No, too late. Oh dear. Right, let's get this end nice. Oh, Come on. This is going to be one of those days, isn't it? It already has been one of those days, to be honest. How the dickens are we supposed to get this in here? Right, there seems to be a little bit too much compression going on here. What was holding these two together? These screws down here. What's holding that in? So I guess what I need to do here is unscrew this a little bit, then stick it a tube in, and then tighten it around it. Yes, this feels like right. I just don't want that end now. Ah, there we go. That's a good way to make spaces, I guess. Oh no, they're probably too small for M3, aren't they? Yeah, because it's 2mm ID. Forget that. Yeah, so that does that end. So how deep is that? 28.5? No. 18.5. And then this side here is 6.5. So 18 plus 6, 24. So we want 25mm tube. So if we use a ruler and make it 25, we should be just about there. Right. What a palaver. Mine sticks out 6.5mm. Doesn't seem like enough, does it? But well, that's what I measured, wouldn't it? Yeah, 6.5. That should be perfect. So, hot end back on. Hot end bacon back on. Screws at the top. Cables out of the way. Whew, right, that's you in. Now we can put this back on, and we've got the tube in there. Mike, sorry I missed your comment. The switch plate, I believe, is the flexible spring steel. So that's the bendy bit that you put on the top, and then the precision plate is the thick, like 6 mil aluminium, depending on what you get. Kind of want to tape this on. Seems sensible, doesn't it? Don't have any tape. We'll just wing it. Successfully winged. Okay, how many times have we assembled this now? So I think we've done all that lot. Have we afterburnt? Afterburnt the afterburner? No idea. I think we're nearly done. Didn't realise my fan had no connector. So obviously all of this stuff doesn't really matter in terms of cable. Oh, this fan is really short. Maybe that's designed perfectly for this. That would be rather neat, wouldn't it? Oh, would you look at that? I think it has been... Oh, that's God mode, that is. Which one's the part cooling fan? It's going to be this top one, isn't it? Okay, can't get it in, but that's fine. My thought now is we need... This has obviously got to go through this. So how the dickens do you hold that with a spacer, with a screw, with this, with that? It's going to be a bit of a puzzle. Yeah, that's gone. But I do need... Like, that's going to go through here, isn't it? Which is going to go through this. Through that as a spacer. onto here. And that's clearly that purpose. But how the dickens is that supposed to work? Because I now need a spacer under that, and that's just don't know how I'm going to do it. Now I can get it in there now. I think this might be a solution or a problem for another day, because I think we're fairly done. Mechanical side of Afterburner is definitely there, isn't it? It's just we've got to sort out how this PCB and electrical stuff's all going to work. I might end up, if I just glue one of the spacers on the top of the thing, just glue that over the top, will be good as gold. Oh, we need some screws for that, don't we? How's that supposed to screw on? We just mentioned battery tube there. Bizarre. M3x12. Unfortunately, I don't have black M3x12s. That's sad, isn't it? Right, there we go, on the belted Z drive and assembly. We made it! Oh. Streamlabs has crashed again. Come on. There we go. I think it's getting a bit confused with this PDF readery thing. Are there spaces for a nylon standoff? It's a good shout. I don't know if there is. I'm guessing probably... I don't know, maybe. I think the spacer will still be easier because I've got them. And we'll glue it in. What I'll probably do is use an 8mm screw, stick some glue on it, and then stick it in there just with those two. Like that. With a bit of glue, that'll get it in place, and then we'll get as gold. We can take it off and carry on. You can't see any of that because the camera's in the way, but there we go. You get the idea, maybe. So that's going to be it for me today. Thanks again to the sponsors for, sponsoring. Wouldn't have been, well, it wouldn't have happened without them, so definitely hugely valuable. Hopefully this absolute disaster has been useful for those that are going through the same struggles. I did have a question earlier today before doing the stream about sometimes it doesn't look like I know what I'm doing, and yeah, that's true in a way. Like, I've built plenty of printers before, hopefully that's apparent, but when doing streams like this, I deliberately try to limit my exposure. Like, I've not watched Nero's streams, I've not watched Tom's, I've not watched anyone build one of these before. So when I'm coming to build it, I'm literally looking at it for the first time, like a lot of you might be. And the reason I do that is so that there are mistakes, not just kind of for entertainment, but because if I don't make mistakes and I make it look perfect and easy, I think not only does it make it a bit more difficult if people are having their own struggles and I just make it look easy when it definitely isn't. But also when I have a problem that somebody else has and I can kind of work through a fix here, then they can find that fix. If I just do it, like breeze through it because I've done loads of preparation, I know exactly what to do, yeah, the streams will go very quick and it might be kind of, we'll get to the end quicker and that kind of stuff, but I think there's a bit more value in making some mistakes and showing how we can get through them rather than just, as I say, just breezing through it. Tommy says, read some of the previous comments. What do you mean? I saw your 3.2 with the PCB probably fixed. But from what I've just seen of mine that's already here, that I've literally looked at, the trace goes right next to the hole and is cut through it. So I'm still probably going to be doing spacers. And obviously I don't want to jam the these bits, the electrical connectors, straight onto the stepper motor. So there you go. There is a printed spacer. Oh, sorry, Hartk. I didn't notice it was you. Slight oversight. I read the message, but not who it was from. About the spacer that goes behind the table. It's on your table. Oh, that's what this is. Yeah. That. See, I had this earlier, and I was like, what on earth's it for? So that goes here. There we go. Let's show it on the camera so anyone else watching. Yes, here we go. So that's the PCB. You can see the two holes in it. You flip it round and you can see where there's a little clip, and that's where the little cutout on this part goes. So you've got one hole one side, one hole the other. Oh, and I've just dropped it on the floor. But one hole goes here, one hole goes there, and the little cutout for the clip in the middle. So your one screw that goes on the top hole, that will then hold the spacer in place for the other one as well. Excellent. All sorted. Thank you very much for that. I have looked through some of the GitHubs, but not extensively. In a way that I kind of think some people may also do. Let's not, I mean, to be honest, if I was doing this just by myself, I would probably read stuff a lot before going into it. But I'm not, for the reasons I've just said. So, we're all good. PCB is going to be absolutely fine. I've just got to find that part that I just dropped on the floor. Don't know when the next stream is going to be. Probably Wednesday if I can. We might try more regular if I can squeeze it in, but probably can't. So probably Wednesday. Thank you everyone for watching, and I shall see you in the next video, live stream. Oh, don't forget on Friday, the video about this. So make sure you watch it, because I'm sure you'll want to, and share it with everyone because it's cool. I don't know. Sure, why not? Thanks very much, everyone.